Woo! Boy, has it been a while, but I'm back. I'm back, bitches. um, today's video, I want to talk about the whole Latto announcing her pregnancy with, we all know, 21 Savage is her baby daddy. We all know that. Wait, can y'all hear me? Hold up. So yeah, I gotta make this quick because I'm actually doing laundry. But I want to talk about the whole Latto situation with 21 Savage. Her announcing her pregnancy. Because I feel like not a lot of people are touching on these major points. So a lot of people are talking about how, oh, we all knew 21 Savage was her baby daddy. They've been together for 5 years. They've been hiding the relationship. It's been very, very private. Not both of them really talking about it too much, but, people that are intuitive and people that can see and put two and two together, people that basically have common sense, we all knew that 21 Savage was her man. And then the crazy part about the whole situation is that he's married. Allegedly, he's still married to his wife from, I don't even know where they're from. Are they from the UK, Canada, Britain? I don't know. I just know that he's not American, right? He's an immigrant, right? Is what you would call it. So yeah, the main, everybody's so focused on the fact that, oh, she's like, oh, big mama, no kids, and her whole reputation, right, for not being a baby mama her entire career. We know that Latto has worked so hard to become what she is today, starting off on that rap show or whatever, and her family supporting her throughout her entire journey, and just her really growing and becoming who she is today. She really worked hard for that shit. So for her to become a baby mama is really asinine, right? It's really kind of crazy. So I just want to touch on these 2 points that a lot of people are missing, because people are only focusing on the fact that, okay, she came out with the pregnancy, she is a baby mama, they are together, technically he's still married, all that hoopla, right? But I want to touch on the fact that, number one, people need to understand this, right? I'm big on spirituality. So as somebody watches me from their balcony, hello, motherfucker. He just went back in, the white door up top. So I first want to touch on the fact that a lot of, especially in this world, right? Because this world is based off of the patriarch and, marrying a man and, being your man's piece and being your man's wife and being loyal and letting your man work and pay the bills and take care of this and that, and women staying home and being stay-at-home wives and taking care of the kids and not working and, cooking and cleaning, these old paradigms that were created from the patriarch, right? And basically it's to keep women in check, to be honest with you. Those paradigms are dead. They're dying, right? And people that can really see know this. Women are leveling up these days. Women are starting their careers. Women are, loving the fuck out of themselves. They're buying their own homes, their own cars. They got their own investments in stocks. Their bank accounts is on swole. Like, it's 2026, right? If you still choose to live that sort of lifestyle, that is totally up to you. No shade. I'm just here to state the facts. I'm here to give you guys some sort of insight as far as spirituality goes. So, is Latto wrong for becoming a baby mama? No. She's not wrong. If that's what she sees fit for her life, God bless her. You have to wish people well on their journeys, right? If that's what she wants, that's what she wants. Maybe in her mind, she thinks, well, I really want a baby. We've been together for 5 years, and hopefully he'll divorce her and allegedly divorce his wife and marry me. Maybe that's what she's thinking, or maybe she feels as though because she has so much money and she's rich as fuck, she already has her career, she's approaching her 30s. You know what? Let me just pop out a couple babies. I've been with this man for 5 years. This is what I want. Everybody is entitled, right? Everybody, not entitled, but everybody has the right to live your life according to your desires, right? And it is what it is. You can let people talk, and hey, you live according to your own rules and your own logistics in your brain. But I want to touch on the fact that, because the patriarchy was built a certain way, honoring thy man and being the wife and, staying in your place, letting your man lead. And, all that stuff is great. I'm not saying that when I'm in a relationship, I don't let my man, I'd love to let my man lead. But at the same time, I know how powerful I am. I don't necessarily need a man, right? I if I'm with you, that means that I want you, right? So, and because I respect you, that means that, yes, I want my man to lead, and I am going to play my position as wifey, as your girl, as your baby. You know what I'm saying? But never fucking forget how powerful and magical and wonderful I am. That if you ever respect me, right? Just don't ever get it twisted, baby, because I'll leave any motherfucking day. And that's just me, right? So, and that's whether we're married in a relationship or whatever. So, the point that I'm trying to make is that I can ramble a little bit. Those of y'all that know me from back in the Disney, if you do, then you should know that. But the point is that, a lot of people feel as though when children come from a two-parent household, that the child is automatically, first of all, they think that because a child comes from a two-parent household, that the household is perfect, there's no problems, there's no issues, there's no struggles, and that the children that come from these two-parent households are going to turn out perfect. They're going to be perfect children. They're going to live the perfect lifestyles, and they're going to make the best decisions, and they're just the best children in the world because they come from a two-parent household. Well, that is not always the case, and we can use Latto as a perfect example of this. I believe her parents are still married. You guys can comment below. I don't, I'm just, listen, leave the comments down below. If I've missed anything or whatever I said incorrect, I have no problem correcting myself if I'm wrong or apologizing or whatever the case is. I'm just speaking solely off of what I know, right? Allegedly. So, and also giving my 2 cents. So it's just like, I believe her parents are still married or together, or they was together for a long time. So she comes from a two-parent household. Her mother's white, her father's black, she's biracial. And, because of that, you see how people have this, like, they're projecting their beliefs and how they feel about society and how society is supposed to be, right? For children that come from two-parent households. They believe that a lot of people, the reason why Latto is getting so much shame and so much judgment because of the decisions she's making in her life is because she comes from a two-parent household, and in this world, the patriarch has just put this like stigma over the entire world that in order to be successful and in order to come out all right, and in order to be the best child your parents ever dreamed of, you have to come from a two-parent household. And I'm just here to set the record straight that that's not always true. That's not always true. There are children that have come from single mothers that have turned out to be multi-millionaires. There are children that were raised by their grandparents that turned out to be very successful, owning businesses and houses, real estate, etc. There are children that were raised by their older siblings. There were children that come from foster care. You see what I'm saying? So we need to stop these old thinking in the old paradigm, in the old world. Life is not what it used to be, y'all. Okay, she comes from a two-parent household, and unfortunately, it's not to say that her parents failed her, right? It just goes to show you that just because you come from a two-parent household, that does not automatically guarantee you to have the greatest of brains, right? To make the best decisions over your life, and to live a life that society says that you should be living, right? At the end of the day, whatever your background is, you can be successful. And this is my point. You can tell how a person was raised based off the sole things that they focused on in their life. And I believe what actually blessed Latto with the success that she has today is not only the support that she has had from her family, because her family, they are very supportive of her. They've believed in her dreams. They supported her. They pushed her, and you know, the stars aligned for her. Excuse me. You know, so by them keeping her on point with what she wanted since childhood, she has been able to connect the dots in her life so effortlessly, right? She has the career, she has the money, she has the status, but does she have the brains, right? And that's the question here today. Does she have the brains? Again, just because you come from a two-parent household, it may guarantee you some success in some area of your life, because in life there's certain areas. There's school, there's work, there's your career, there's your love life, there's your health, there's your spirituality. Life breaks up in many different parts, right? What are you focusing on, right? I believe that we should all be focusing on equally all parts, right? Because life is not just one part. When I look at Latto, I can tell that she wanted to be successful so bad, right? And it's nothing wrong with that. That she only solely focused on her career and her money and her status in her life, right? So now when you see the decisions that she is making over her life, not to say that she is wrong, right? Because you can have whatever lifestyle you choose to have. But spiritually, I wonder, where is she, right? Because if that man is actually married, and you done got pregnant by a married man, and you are just out in the world prancing around like Dasher, the motherfucking reindeer, as if nothing is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. And yeah, this shit happens every day, right? These men, they go out here, they lie, they manipulate you, and if you're stupid enough, you're gonna believe it, and you're gonna fucking follow them, because they leading you. Where the fuck are they leaving you? Who the fuck knows? Who really knows where they're leading you? But they lead you somewhere. You end up pregnant. Now you're a baby mama. And 9 times out of 10, those men never end up marrying you. Because why buy the milk when you already have the cow, right? And you know what? I also want to speak about this other part. I want to speak about how, if he is still married, y'all, if he is still married, I want you to understand what's happening spiritually between both of these women. If he's still married, a man that is 9 times out of 10 is still married to a woman, but he has claimed that he has moved on and he is now with you, he's still sleeping with that other woman. So what's happening energetically and spiritually is that he is transferring both of you guys' energy back and forth. He's juggling her energy, he's juggling your energy, and he's building off those energies in totality, right? So what is the future for Latto and 21 Savage? I don't fucking know. All I know is that she's happy that she is going to become a mother, which is beautiful, right? If you want to become a mother, I pray that God blesses you. It is a beautiful journey to be on. It is a beautiful, evolving, growing, healing, spiritual journey that you will ever embark on, you know, which is motherhood. And I pray you don't regret it, right? Because, you know, to regret being a mother, that's real deep. Like, that's real deep. That's real. That is, like, you need therapy. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, I'm happy for her because she is happy. But I do think that she should do some sort of soul searching, right? Especially if that man is still married. So I'm gonna leave it there. You know, hopefully, you know, y'all understand the points that I made. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.